podcast made by basketball fans for basketball fans. From the hottest takes, news, analysis, and passion for the sport that we all love, this is the Fast Break Pod with Finn James and Will Tremaine. Welcome into the Fast Break Podcast, the podcast made by basketball fans.
For basketball fans.
Finn James.
Will Tremaine.
Back again with another episode. We're here with episode 31, a whole heap to unpack. We obviously got the world news. We've got some talk on the Breakers ownership changing, officially happening. We're going to run through the NZNBL scores as well as the NBL free agency update. And of course, we'll look at the NBA as well before we get out of here. But of course, we'll start with the world news. Will, where are we at this weekend so far?
So some big news out of Formula 1. Unfortunately, our very own Liam Lawson has been dropped from Red Bull after 2 races into the season. Very harsh if you ask me, but I'm looking on the bright side. I think this is going to be good for him in the long run. He was obviously struggling with the car, which is very suited for Max Verstappen. And I think he's going to do a lot better in the junior team now. He's still in Formula 1, that needs to be said, Racing Bulls. And he's swapped with Yuki Tsunoda, who's now got that opportunity in the Red Bull top team. I don't think he's going to do well. I think he's going to struggle just like Liam did and really prove that it's the car that's the problem. Very suited to Max, like I said. And I think Liam's going to do well to just get a full year of experience in the junior team and obviously trying to make sure that he's still a potential prospect for the future for the team once they've sorted out all the problems that they have with the car.
Super harsh in my opinion.
But yeah.
So harsh. I mean, obviously Yuki Tsunoda's got far more experience than Liam and has been racing pretty good in the Racing Bull car for the first 2 games. I think it's going to keep Honda happy. Obviously he's Japanese. He's going to bring in a lot of fans.
Well, that's the thing. They're racing. The next race is in Japan,
Japanese
so
Grand
I
Prix.
think that definitely played a part in why they made the switch for this weekend.
I just think after 2 races, super harsh. Super harsh. But I have hope that Liam is going to be, 1, more comfortable in a car that he's familiar with. 2, there's going to be a lot less pressure on him racing behind Max Verstappen. And he's got an entire year to do it. In my opinion, I think Yuki Tsunoda is going to struggle. And then what happens?
Exactly.
If he has 5 really average or below average races like Liam was having, do they just sack Yuki as well?
Hopefully.
Makes
He's
no
arrogant
sense to
little
me.
flat. But anyway.
Makes no sense to me. Run through some Super Rugby scores. Sadly, the Crusaders...
Up Moana, baby.
I think it was 29-45 loss to Moana Pacifica.
Artie was on a heater. 2 tries.
This is unfortunate as a Crusaders fan. I've been talking a lot of smack this season, saying we're back, and
good.
This
just
goes and happens.
yet again speaks to the level of how all these teams are very even this year, and it's going to be an extremely competitive season. And I'm happy to see Moana succeeding. I want to see them and Fiji really make sure that they get into the playoffs this year, and just kind of make sure that it's more of a global game. Not just the New Zealand teams making the top 8 every year, in my opinion.
It's only top 6 now, I guess, with the
6,
new playoff format and everything, but that was unfortunate. The Highlanders, 3rd straight loss to the Brumbies. They lost all 3 games in March. Quite unfortunate. Caleb Tangitau, however, has been on an absolute heater. I think I'm going to see him in a black jersey this year, Will.
You reckon?
Yep.
That's a bold call.
I reckon.
Our wing depth in New Zealand is crazy. There's so many wingers. You got that Macca Springer from the Crusaders as well. Sevu, who's I think he just broke the all-time try scoring record down there in Canterbury. And then you got what's his name? Amoni Narawa from the Chiefs. So many wingers. But
I honestly think he's going to be in a black jersey.
Fair.
Hot take, but
stay tuned.
I have a feeling. The Hurricanes also got a really big win over the Waratahs. The Hurricanes, I was on my show on Saturday, and I had a local Wellingtonian on, and they were saying, the Hurricanes are back, baby. The dominant Hurricanes are back. I was like, okay, you got 1 week. We'll see what happens next week, buddy. And the Reds beat the Force in the Australian matchup. There was a few byes this week, only 4 games, but they'll be back next week. A-League action, I think Wellington Phoenix got a 2-2 draw against the Western Sydney Wanderers.
Too late.
So, I mean, then they're out. They're out in CILE. Auckland FC got a win. No, they have a game tonight against Brisbane, who are 3rd to bottom of the table.
But we've locked up that top seed. So
Auckland's going to be the number 1 going to the playoffs, which is awesome
100%.
to see. However, we'll move on. We touched on it a bit last week, and I think we should get into this very early on in the podcast today. The Breakers ownership has officially changed hands from Matt Walsh and co. and the American, business that they had. It's been officially changed over to a local Kiwi entity. I thought it was going to be the Bryce brothers. I think we talked about this last week, that were going to be the owners and the majority stakes. It's not. the Kiwi. He's calling himself a Kiwi.
He's an American.
I'd say he's American, which
He's been here for 5 years. That's not long enough to
I'm
call yourself a
tossing up
Kiwi,
whether
buddy.
I'm happy about this or not. But he is a Kiwi American. Mark Mitchell. He's a Californian native, but he's lived in New Zealand for the last 5 years and has a Kiwi wife. So he's the owner, majority stakes holder of the Breakers moving forward.
Black is back, baby. That's what they're saying.
Back in black.
Back in
Hashtag
black.
Back in black. That's what they're running with.
Maybe that's the motto that we're talking about.
Yeah,
last week.
maybe. They've already changed their socials to a black BNZ Breakers logo. So I'm thinking the pink might be gone. The pink is definitely gone.
We're going back to the OG colours.
Not
but
sure.
I think they'll put a modern twist to it. We're not going to have the OG uniforms, but there's going to be some nice looking black and blue unis on the way for an NBL 2025. Stay tuned.
It's a shame,
gonna
mate.
be good.
They were pink for the last 6 years, and I only just got a jersey this last season, and it's already gone. So now what do I do with it?
It's going to become nostalgic. Finn.
Do I burn it?
No, 10 years from now, you're going to look back and you have that OG pink Breakers uni. Probably sell it for $400. Who knows?
And to be fair, it's Parker Jackson Cartwright, who arguably one of the best imports the club has ever had.
And who will never be back in a Breakers jersey.
Unlikely. We'll get into the NBL free agency tracker later on, and his name has gone around a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. It's a shame. I didn't mind the pink, but I feel like we lacked identity. So I think I'm happy to be back with those OG uniforms.
Back with black.
Back in black.
And you know what else? We got some big names joining the
yeah.
the Breakers this season. Tom Abercrombie is back as primary basketball advisor. Great to have him just in the organization. I don't care what role it is. His experience and his just wealth of knowledge is going to be phenomenal for the Breakers, along with Dylan Boucher, president of basketball operations. Very, very knowledgeable guy right there who's going to make some great decisions for the Breakers, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So those are two massive names that I think are definitely going to impact the Breakers for the better in this next season.
Well, it's a no-brainer, really. I think we spoke about this last week. We wanted to see, obviously, the front office completely got dropped from the new owners taking over. Yeah. We talked about it last week. We wanted to see former players, former coaches, people that knew about Breakers culture, New Zealand basketball. These are two names that would probably be at the top of anyone's mind when it came to New Zealand basketball. Thomas Abercrombie, probably the biggest legend, I reckon, that's ever come out of the Breakers. I mean, he had an extensive career, 4 championships. I couldn't even tell you how many seasons he played. Might have been 13, 14, 15, around there.
One of the best Kiwis to ever touch a basketball. Hands down. You got Stephen Adams, Kirk Penny, and then I'm thinking Tom Abercrombie.
He was almost an NBA player. Very, very close.
Very close.
First of all, a great human being.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy. He's been around that club for decades.
Yeah.
The longest time ever. And for him to be the primary basketball advisor, he knows what winning culture is. Mm-hmm. He knows what the Breakers need to succeed. And I think this is a no-brainer move from the new owners to bring in Thomas Abercrombie. And Dylan Boucher as well is once again just a no-brainer move in my opinion.
Another Breakers legend. Both on board for the Breakers. It's going to be very, very, very entertaining this next season with these two guys.
Dylan Boucher is the biggest no-brainer as well because one, he was I don't know if you knew this, he was the general manager of the club between 2016 and 2019. So he's already around when I think they were still doing okay. I think Matt Walsh sort of took over around that time. And then he's also been the New Zealand basketball CEO since 2021. So he's been in management roles of basketball clubs and organizations since 2016. Obviously, he had that 2-year break over COVID. So 6 years of experience at the helm of a basketball organization, overlooking what it was. And once again, another person that was a player on the team during that three-peat, that dynasty of 5 years where they won 4 chips. A no-brainer. He's going to make great decisions alongside Thomas Abercrombie, and I don't think they're done yet. I think there's going to be some more names that could pop up that are quite familiar.
I think you're definitely right, Finn. I think they've obviously just done a whole remodel for the Breakers. There's been a lot of layoffs. There's going to be a lot of new people getting hired. Media team's gone. New media team in. Who knows? Maybe you guys can make a little bit of a connection here with the Fast Break podcast. Grow your viewership. Big opportunity for you here.
We have so much to give them.
Yeah, millions of viewers on the weekly. So definitely reach out. No, we'll be reaching out to you guys. So keep your phones on ring, and we'll be coming. But yeah, just gonna be super good seeing it's like almost like a whole new team. I feel coming in this season. It almost feels like an expansion team, almost just whole new team, new organization, new owners, new players. It's going to be a full restart for us, and I think that's what we need.
It's a clean slate.
Yeah.
It's a clean slate. And there's some more familiar names in here as well. The Blackwell family, who were the majority stakes owners during that dynasty time, have come back as shareholders of the team as well. I guess they'll have a few things to say here and there if they need to.
Yep.
They were the reason, well, a big reason of the growth of the club and the success of the club. So it's awesome.
Culture.
It's amazing to see these people back on board. And of course, we've got the Grice brothers, Sean Colgan as well, and Leon Grice as deputy chairman. So hashtag back in black, baby. I'm looking forward to seeing what the rebrand looks like. The new uniforms. Like Will said, I reckon they're going to go for a throwback on the old uniforms with a modern twist.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm really looking forward to
But
it.
keep the throwbacks as well, like for some games, just the OG.
Yeah, they did that a
jersey,
few
like they
times
did
this year. Yeah, and I really liked that. And no, I'm very excited. I think next season I'm not expecting much in terms of success because the first year they're going to be at the helm.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a really good year to figure everything out again, try a few new things, hopefully attract some more local players that can probably come back that are free agents, which we will get into, of course. But I'm thinking this is a great step in the right direction. I'm happy. Are you happy?
I'm very happy. I just want us to see. I want to see a lot more Kiwis on the team this year as well. Though.
Most definitely.
Really, just dive into that New Zealand Breakers aspect of it.
Yeah,
I
not
don't
the,
think we had enough. We were more like the global Breakers last year.
Yeah, we were.
So
And you know what we're probably not going to see next season? A USA tour.
yeah, no, they've already ruled it out.
Apparently, the old owners, they released a statement before they all left. They weren't doing it next year. It was confirmed.
Yeah.
Very interesting that they released that statement after the ownership change.
Yeah.
They probably could have done that after it was a fail once again. I think that was just rubbing salt in the wounds. But
Yeah.
I'm happy that that's highly likely going to be sacked. I'm hoping they keep a lot of the same things, though. A lot of these guys are Wellington-based. Imagine if they take the team to Wellington.
Nah, it's not.
There's
happening.
no way, right?
No, there's no chance that's already on the radar as a possible. New Zealand needs a second NBL team.
At some point.
They're going to leave the Wellington and Christchurch markets open to the possibility of an expansion team down the line. They're not going to move the team to Wellington. Although, if they moved it to Wellington, then that opens up the market for another Auckland team.
Where all the
So
money
who
is.
knows? That could be smart, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think there's going to be an expansion for
This
at
is
least
where
a
their
decade.
history is, right here
Yeah.
on the North Shore
Yeah.
of Auckland, New Zealand.
You know what I'd
They're not
love to
leaving
see? Thomas Abercrombie, Dylan Boucher, North Shore locals played at Event Finder, North Shore Event Centre when they won. Bring some more games there.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Cut off like the Palmerston North games, a couple of the Christchurch
I wonder
games,
what's
and
gonna
just
happen
give
with
them
that.
to North Harbour, bro.
Do it because that was an idea and an innovation from the old ownership team, but they didn't usually play in other cities.
The NZ
Do you reckon
tour.
they keep that?
I think they'll definitely capitalise on playing at least one game in Christchurch and Wellington because there's such a big market there with lots of fans who want to see the Breakers. But I think, yeah, there's going to be more home games in Auckland and North Harbour, hopefully. I think that's another reason why it'd be great to have an expansion team in like Christchurch because then they have all their home games there. They can take care of the South Island as well, go play a game in Dunedin or whatever, and then leave the North Island for the Breakers, more home games in Auckland. Because that was one problem I think we had last season, is we wanted to go to a lot of games, but like some weekends when we were free and we were available,
They were home games.
they were home games, but they were in Christchurch or Wellington. And we were like, damn, if there's just every single home game in Auckland for the Auckland fans to go to, I think people can schedule out the available times to go and watch a game just better for everyone.
Yeah, I think the only issue with that, though, is that they are the New Zealand Breakers.
Maybe a rebrand to the Auckland Breakers then.
Oh, God, that would be interesting.
I think that would happen if an expansion.
Yeah, so exactly. I don't think that's going to happen for at least a decade. It's going to be a really long time before we see another New Zealand team in this league, I think.
I'm not as
I
negative as you on that in that aspect.
not negative.
I don't
I
think
just
10 years is a long time, bro.
yeah,
I think 5 years we could have one.
5.
Yeah.
I just think like they've already talked about expanding, and I've heard the Philippines, which would be strange. I don't know how much I'd like that. Or I know Gold Coast got thrown around a bit, and I think
Yeah, they need one.
I think Sydney was potentially looking at getting a second team.
Well, they've got Illawarra, which is close
It's
to
sort
Sydney.
of Sydney, but like obviously they have the 2 Melbourne teams already.
Yeah, they could definitely have another team in Sydney.
100%. It's a massive city.
I think you've got to fill out the New Zealand and Australian markets before you start looking at the Philippines, in my opinion.
Well, I just remember when Kai Sotto came into the league, it drew so many eyes from the Philippines when he was playing for Adelaide. Obviously,
That's just such a long distance. Like, you already have
you already
Perth
gotta
and
fly
New
to Perth,
Zealand
yeah.
are so far away
like 7
already.
hours.
That's one of the longest flights in any professional league in the world. Add into that the Philippines way up there. It's like a triangle of just crazy long distance.
It's like a 7-hour flight from Auckland to Perth, I think.
Yeah.
Plus the time difference.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's crazy.
I mean, like, how long would it take to fly from Los Angeles to like New York?
Less than
5
that,
hours?
for sure.
5 hours, eh?
Probably something like that.
Yeah, it's not even that bad, really.
No. And they're
I guess
private
that's
jets as
probably
well.
why they never got a Hawaii team in the NBA. It's too far away from the East Coast.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why Hawaii get nothing. Because they're close enough to the West Coast.
It's just
but
the East Coast.
The East
Too
Coast,
far.
way too far. Anyway,
I'm happy.
stay tuned, guys.
And
Because there's gonna be more announcements coming from the Breakers.
absolutely.
So far this season, that's just the tip of the iceberg for what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe we get a Carmelo Anthony signing, John Wall signing, Isaiah Thomas, some big name NBA former All Star.
They still haven't announced if they're keeping Pateri Koponen, by the way.
Damn.
However,
I'm
I'd be so surprised if he doesn't keep his job.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm also gonna be surprised if Taco falls in a Breakers jersey next year.
You're gonna be surprised
If he is in one, I'll be surprised.
if he is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be surprised if he isn't.
Really?
I don't think Taco Fall plays for us next season.
Okay.
Do you think Taco Fall plays for us next season?
I don't know. He's signed to a 2-year deal.
They
don't
can
want
abolish
to
that. I don't want to. I reckon they're gonna figure out a way to get rid of him.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. But I feel as though they might keep him. Who knows?
Why?
It'll be a bad start if they do keep him.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
He's only there for the eyes.
The clicks.
Yeah. He's
I
not
don't
there
think he
for
does.
the talent.
I reckon he's gone. I reckon he's on his bike.
Hopefully.
I
Hopefully
reckon.
you're onto something.
I don't
with him.
mind Taco as a person. He's probably a great guy.
He's your boy, bro.
He is my
You
boy.
guys are boys.
Ends in NBL. NBL. No, it doesn't work. We saw it. Maybe with a whole off season under Pateri potentially because he's a great coach. But I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be in it.
Anyway, moving on to some NZNBL scores. Round 3 just wrapped up.
Well, we've got 2 more games tonight.
2 more
which
games
will be
tonight.
done tomorrow. Well, which will be done by the time this comes
We'll run
up.
through the scores real quick. We had the Phi versus Tuatara. Phi came up with a win in that one. Very close game, 78-76, down in Tauranga.
They're undefeated.
And the Tuatara are winless as well, so that was a tough game. But the Tuatara do have Rob Lowe coming back tonight versus the Giants, so that will be very interesting, I think, with him back and then Dave O'Hickey coming back as well. The Tuatara are going to turn their season
he's
around.
back. It's got to be soon.
It'll be next game.
He's
after
probably
this,
still
I think.
celebrating, eh?
Yeah, which is deserved.
Yeah,
the
and he
true finals MVP
Yeah, exactly.
of the Illawarra Hawks. So yeah, Tuatara, their future's looking bright this season, I think.
I'm hoping.
Saints got a massive win over the Sharks, Finn, 122-83. What do you think on that one?
Not surprised. I think the Sharks are still figuring it out. New coach, quite a few new players. The Saints have a really good team as well. Douglas Meter, I think his name is. He's a local boy. Popped off the bench, shot the ball really well on that game as well.
You had the Nuggets 108-104 win over the Jets.
This is a crazy game. So the fourth quarter, the Jets. I watched the fourth quarter. I think they were up 15 going into the fourth. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, Jets got it. C-Web's having a good game. Dante's having a good game. The imports of the Jets are quite good this year as well. Yeah. Man, the Nuggets went on a hot streak, bro. Obviously got the win. And Corey Webster got into a bit of a altercation. I think it was with Todd Withers.
Yeah.
Who's been on the Nuggets for a while, played for Perth. Corey Webster, I think he's serving a 2-game suspension. So he didn't get to play in the next one.
That's good, I think. You got to make sure that the players know that type of behavior is unacceptable to have a fight, and giving him a 2-game suspension, I think that will definitely be noticed to other players in the league not to get up to that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's a vet. He should know better.
Yeah, 100%.
Just a bit frustrated, I guess, but yeah, is what it is. Indian Panthers continue. They're still winless. Damn. They only have 3 Indian players. Shout out Steven, shout out Ryan for getting some minutes there as well.
Yeah.
They went down to the Phi 102-73. It was a relatively close game until the second half, where it was just an absolute whitewash from the Phi. Sean Bairstow had a really good game. Obviously, the Breakers player. I think he had 19 on the night. Cruz Pero Hunt's been on a heater. But a massive game from the Phi, of course. And yeah, the Panthers just really aren't looking like they're going to do very well this year. Their import, Alex Robson, looks really good though. And Jalen Durand has been looking really good as well. So no complaints there, but In terms of all the other Indian guys coming in, we'll see. And did you see one of their new imports they signed? This Chinese guy. He looks like a second coming of Yao Ming. Not as tall, but a massive body.
Jesus.
Saw a few highlights.
Calling the Asian Panthers.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what these Indian players are like.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not historically known to be the best basketball players, but
No.
not throwing any shade.
No
You guys
shade.
are probably the best players in India, so I would imagine you're definitely capable of getting buckets and
They have
names
a
at NBL.
billion people, surely. The Giants, unfortunately, 83-94 lost to the Bulls. The Bulls look really good.
What do you mean, unfortunately?
Well, I like the Giants. I always have had a sweet spot for them. I mean,
up the Bulls.
my boy Liam Judd plays for them. And then, I don't know, I just kind of like the Giants. I know you're a Bulls fan, technically, but... And they look really good. I think
Bulls are winning it all.
I
this
think
season.
dark horses. I know we're thinking Ruben Tarangi might be out pretty soon, but Flynn Cameron returned in this game as well for his first game.
They got
Along with Tobias and Tay Hardy.
And the import center as well, they just picked up. Okeroa or something. Sorry, I'm probably butchering that name.
I saw that, yeah.
But he had like 4 blocks and 3 steals in the last
good.
game. Very defensive beast, I think. Him and Tay Hardy. Tay Hardy had like 9 assists in this one.
He's good, bro.
Them in the pick and roll, that's going to look scary.
I still
bro.
heard rumblings that Luther Muhammad was somehow coming back to this team.
Oh my god.
I don't know if he is.
How many imports do they have so far, though?
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
Tay and this new guy.
Does they have another one?
I don't
Isn't
think
their
so.
center the white guy? The center? Isn't he like a German or something?
Oh, he might be.
Yeah. So I don't know.
only
I heard rumblings that Luther Muhammad was going to return to the team this season, but
If that does, they're winning it all.
oh yeah, but I've seen no announcement and I've heard nothing more on it, so I have to park that for now.
I'll hit up Jamie. I'll find out.
Yeah, thank you. Please do. The Taranaki Airs continue just to be a very dominant force in this league. Sneaky dark horses to win it all, I think, this year too. 114-88 win over the Hawke's Bay Hawks, who are very undermanned. Obviously, Dan Garita, Wani Swakala Bullock, and Luki Yates, all from the Illawarra Hawks, probably still haven't played a game yet. They're still celebrating, of course, their win. But those are 3 players that are going to bring a whole heap of experience to the Hawke's Bay Hawks. But they went down quite big to the Airs. Carlin Davidson, we've been talking to him quite about him during this season so far.
Bucket.
Triple-double. 15, 10, and 10.
Yeah,
Damn.
he's looking definitely like
Damn.
one of those front runners for MVP at the
Oh,
moment,
yeah.
which we'll get into in a second. But dude is so athletic, Finn.
Oh.
We went to his game the other week against Tuatara down at North Shore Event Center. Just like, I don't think he really had like a crazy dunk in game, but watching them in the warm up lines, bro, he was doing like dunks I don't even see in NBA warm up lines. This guy's one of the most athletic basketball players on earth, dare I say.
Oh, probably.
Yeah,
He's got like a 40
at
plus.
least a 40-plus introvert.
Has
for
to, right?
sure. He was chucking like reverse windmills.
Easily.
Absolutely
with
insane.
with ease. I think he probably almost... He could easily East Bay, bro. It's not even a question.
I've
It is
seen
insane.
I've seen him down at 33 a few times. I mean, if he tried to go up and dunk one of those on me, bro, he better think twice, because I'm swatting that shit. Anyway.
Yep. Never do that again. Because we all know what's going to happen. Balls in face. And balls in probably my face if you try to dunk on me too. So, fair enough. The Sharks went down to the Jets without Corey Webster. This was an interesting one. Dante Russo Nance with 35 on the night, though.
He's so
Stepped
tough.
up. Stepped up.
He's going to be getting very good minutes on Perth next season. In
You
my
think so?
opinion. 100%. The way he's been playing this season for the Jets, like on par with Corey Webster, in my opinion. I think he's slowly, as a young player as well, just going to move up that order of the Perth
I hope
Wildcats.
so.
With Bryce Cotton gone as well. He could, dare I say, start for Perth at point guard next season.
That's a stretch.
Unless they go and get Kendrick
They're going to
Davis.
sign somebody.
Yeah,
They
but it might
have
not be a
to.
point guard.
That's a good point.
Either way, he's back up or starting point guard for the Perth Wildcats.
Maybe.
Calling it now.
I'd love to see him get some minutes. I'd love to. 2 games tonight, which will be done tomorrow, but I guess we can give our predictions. Tuatara versus Giants, 2 winless teams. Return of Rob Lowe.
Tuatara getting the job done in this one for
think so
sure.
too.
Dylan Wilkins
At
going
home.
to drop a 25-piece
Oh.
chicken McNuggets.
25 McNuggets.
25. No, actually, is 25 a decibel of 3?
No.
No, it's not. So he's going to get
24.
27 because he's going to hit 9 threes.
Damn.
Yep.
Heard it here first.
Heard it here first.
And the Jets versus the Sharks tonight as well. I don't think Corey Webster's playing tonight.
I'll still take the Jets in that one. I think Dante's going to go for another crazy game. And Tinashe, I think he's going to have a good game off the bench as well.
Alrighty.
Yep.
And before we get into NBL free agency, I think we should just... I want to do a little bit of a prediction for our MVP early on. I mean, it's been 3 rounds of basketball. Who are you saying would be the front runner right now?
Front runner for me right now, and I think my prediction for who's winning it all, I think it's going to continue having an insane season. on probably one of the best 2 or 3 teams in the NZNBL, in my opinion. That is Tay Hardy from the Franklin Bulls. He's definitely my front runner right now. Bro's an absolute bucket. His jump shot looks a little bit funny.
Hey, it
reminds
works.
me of Adam Singer's.
It does.
But it works.
It works.
And that floater that he has, man, that's a tool that everybody should be putting in their bag.
He's sneaky athletic too, by the way.
He's
Sneaky
great
athletic.
3-point shooter, incredible passer. We saw that with 9 assists the other day in the pick and roll with Okerwa. I'm gonna have to really learn the pronunciation of that name,
yeah.
but I think Franklin are going to be one of the best teams all season for sure. They have an absolutely stacked team, and yeah, he's my front runner, Finn. What about you?
I think Carlin Davidson at the moment, I think, is at the top of my mind. He's averaging 20 plus easily, and then he's gone and got a triple-double in his last game. That's no easy feat, especially in 10-minute quarter era. You don't see a lot of triple-doubles. I mean, even in the NBL, Aussie NBL, you don't see many triple-doubles.
No.
So I think Carlin Davidson, he's a wing player, a forward, dare I say, 10 assists on the night as well. I think he's got an absolute bag of tools. Like, his 3-point shot is looking far better than it has in recent years. So he's able to score on all 3 levels, and I think he's going to be on the Airs are going to be a top, I'd say, 3-4 team in the league this year as well. But I think there's a few other players on my mind as well. I think Corey Webster, if he continues and the Jets have a decent year, you never know. And I think Will Hickey, once he comes here, I've seen his numbers when he played NBL 1 for Wodonga last season. He averaged 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists.
So you have to imagine he can put up similar numbers to that in a similar league, NBL 1.
He was playing like 38 minutes a game in NBL 1.
Yeah.
But dare I say, when he comes here, I'd say NBL 1 and Sal's NBL, I'd say the NBL 1 league he was playing in was probably slightly worse than Sal's NBL. But I feel like he would have improved since last season. He's going to be running the point for Tuatara as well. I think off the back of a really, really good NBL season, he's going to want to prove to everybody that he can be a number 1 guy. I think he's going to have a great year. I don't know when he's coming. I hope it's soon, because I'd love to see him in person.
You could also chuck Rob Lowe on that list as well. The other guy coming back. He's going to be one of their main options on Tuatara.
He won it like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
MVP?
And I think him and Will Hickey are definitely going to turn the Tuatara season around
100%.
for sure. And they're definitely going to be a playoff team, I think. Yeah, one of those two could definitely be in the running.
It is a real shame the slow start they have had just simply because the unluckiness of Melbourne and Illawarra both being in the NBL finals that they didn't get to start the season with Will Hickey and Rob Lowe. But now that they're going to be here soon, get them in the gym with the boys. I'm thinking they're gonna turn it around. They're gonna turn it around.
I think
sure.
Boy Tuak is
Tuak.
also a name that we could chuck on there because he's looked good the last few games for Tuatara as well. He had like a 29 piece the other night. If he can just continue to grow in the Tuatara jersey, definitely keep him on the radar as well for sure.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to the rest of the games this week, of course, and we'll be highlighting everything that happens in the Sal's NBL this season. But we'll move on to the NBL free agency tracker. First of all, I would like to just say thank you to Bryce Cotton for 9 unbelievable seasons of Perth basketball.
Insane.
Obviously, he announced his departure from Perth for the foreseeable future. I doubt he'll ever come back. He's 32. He had 9 years in a Perth jersey. He's likely heading over to Japan. It was going to be a matter of time.
Get the paycheck, bro.
He's going to get he was already making a fair few pennies at Perth, but man,
He's
I
obviously
reckon
going to be making more.
he can make probably double, maybe even, dare I say, triple in Japan. So
For sure.
With a family,
He wouldn't leave if he's not getting paid.
of course not. And I think after I talked about this on my TikTok, I don't know if you saw it. In 9 seasons, he had 5 MVPs, 3 championships, and 8 All NBL first teams.
He's the GOAT.
Is he the GOAT?
He's the GOAT. I'm saying it. I don't
Over Andrew Gaze.
He's the GOAT.
Okay.
Sorry, Andrew Gaze.
I'm tossing and turning.
You don't think he is?
Andrew Gaze is Andrew Gaze, bro.
I don't care, bro. He did it in the time where there were plumbers. So
Ooh.
it's the same excuse they use for LeBron in the NBA.
Okay.
MJ played against plumbers or whatever, but nah.
What
Bryce
he
is the GOAT.
what he did in a Perth jersey is, I don't think anyone will ever be able to replicate what that man did. And in Port, first of all, committing to a team for 9 seasons is unheard of in the NBL. And the numbers he put up, I mean, he averaged 28 a game last year, which was his best season in a jersey. Like, in the Perth jersey, of course, 28 a game, bro.
Yeah.
That's NBA numbers in a 40-minute game. It's insane.
He was putting up 50 pieces, 60 pieces.
59 against the Breakers.
Call it 60, who cares?
Yeah.
Speaking of Perth, though, Christian Doolittle signed a 3-year
They
extension.
tried so hard.
They obviously tried to sign him to keep Bryce and say, look, we're still signing Christian. We can go back and win it all. Didn't work out, but at least Doolittle got his bag, so happy for him. I think Perth's still going to be... If they can go out there and get Kendrick Davis, who said that he's interested in coming back to the NBL, but not specifically to Adelaide.
I don't think he wants to play for Adelaide.
If he went to Perth and just essentially filled the void of Bryce Cotton, I think they're comparable players for sure. He could become an absolute bucket on Perth, and I think swapping the two of them, they're still going to be a playoff team for sure.
Oh, yeah. Kendrick Davis absolutely surprised me on what he was able to do last season. I had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that's like I don't even think that's like a crazy thing to say. I didn't know who he was. He was just a G Leaguer. Playing for the Warriors G League team, had a pretty decent college career.
Yeah.
Came to the NBL and, smaller guard and scores on all three levels. Is exactly what is good in this league. And it was essentially, it was a Bryce Cotton clone almost.
Yeah. And he's a lot younger though. That's the only difference. So he's still got his sights set on the NBA. He's made that known. And I think coming back for another year in the NBL could definitely do wonders for his stock and getting back to the league.
100%.
So I think that's definitely what he's going to be doing.
I reckon Perth would throw him some decent coin to try and get there, eh?
Yeah, just so that they can essentially stay the same almost by getting him.
They're not carbon copies, but they're damn similar.
They're damn similar.
So I think it would, if Perth pick up Kendrick Davis next season and they keep similar coin. I mean, Jesse Wagstaff's coming back for another year. We thought he was done, but he said, screw it, let me run it back one more time. Kendrick Davis on Perth wouldn't even be a surprise. I think it's definitely possible, and I'd love to see it.
For sure. Sam Wardenberg re-signed with the Taipans on a 1-year deal, Finn. Bit upsetting for me.
It is upsetting.
I wanted to see him in the black Breakers jersey this season.
I really did.
But we might have to just wait one more year. I think he's definitely another potential breaker down the line. But
I love Sam Wardenberg as a player.
Yeah.
He would be so good in a Breakers jersey. Watching him do what he does in a Tall Blacks jersey gets me excited. And he had an outstanding year on Cairns last year. Yeah. Despite them being the wooden spooners, I think he was one of the bright spots. Like, he had a he improved drastically from the season before. He was the captain of the team. I think he was really good. Great defensively, stretches the floor well. He's a great player. It's a shame that we won't see him in a Breakers jersey, though. I was really hoping we would have seen him.
I think he's going to have an even better year this year for the Taipans with players like Tyrone Armstrong, who's gone to the Warriors. And
he might be back, though.
He's coming back, but the rumours are that he's not coming back to Cairns. I've seen him linked with Tasmania as a potential option. So if he goes, that's just more ball in the hands of Sam Wardenberg. But I'll call it now. We'll definitely see him in a Breakers jersey before the end of his career.
I think so.
I'm saying it.
At least one season.
Might be next season. Well, not next season, but the season after. Or it might be 5 years from now, but he'll for sure be a breaker.
Throw him some coin, Breakers. Yeah. Throw him some coin. Lots of imports on the block, though. I mean, PJC, I've seen he's not coming back here, but I've seen him linked to Melbourne and Sydney, I think, at one point.
So unfair,
and that would break my heart. I would really break my heart. I don't see him coming back. No. I think Daly might be on the block, which is crazy. I know Shea Ely is a free agent. I know Flynn Cameron is a free agent. 2 really good Kiwi players on Melbourne. Just quietly. Liafa, 3. I mean, Liafa had I don't want to shit on him, but he had a really bad year on Sydney.
It's because he wasn't playing in his hometown.
He was pretty damn good in the Breakers jersey the season before, too. I'd love to see him back in the Breakers jersey. Flynn Cameron, I think I'd love to see him in a Breakers jersey. He's showing me that he has so much potential.
Oh, bro.
And if Shea Ely somehow comes back too, who is so valuable, Depoy, great scorer, is one of the best Tall Blacks players as well, man. And if
we get both of them, Liafa and like a Finn Delaney.
Oh, Finn Delaney,
we're gonna be on next season, bro.
Finn Delaney would be so good to come back as well. I mean, Yanni Wetzel as well. Oh my God, Yanni Wetzel. I miss him in a Breakers jersey. He played 1 season for us in that Tassie year when we had 5 wins, but damn, he was good. He was so good.
Funny story, guys. Me, Finn, and Adam were playing, or Finn, Adam, and I apologize. My mum would be mad at me for that. We were playing at Vic Park the other day, playing some basketball, just on the outdoor hoops. And this nice guy comes up. We start playing twos, and What did he say to you, Finn? He came up to you
He
and was
asked
like,
me- asked
are
me
you
like-
Finn Delaney?
Nah, he said, what's your name? I was like, Finn. He's like, nice to meet you, bro. First play, checks up at a splash of 3, and he's like, wait, what was your last name, bro? And I was like, oh, James? And he's like, bro, I thought you were like Finn Delaney or something. I was like, brother,
Absolutely
let's
crazy.
park it there, guys.
Just
I'm pretty
stroking
shit.
Finn's ego even more, as if we needed that. So cheers for that, mate.
I wish. Do I even look like him?
Well, I mean,
Curly hair
tall,
and a-
white, curly dude.
Yeah. It's about it.
That's about it. Anybody who's fits that description could probably be mistaken, and considering you had the same name. Yeah.
You never know. It was a hot coincidence.
Yeah, I had to make sure. I jumped in there and told him, no, don't you ever call him Finn Delaney. Finn James will never be anything like Finn Delaney in the
No.
basketball realm, so...
Unfortunately not.
Chill.
I'd love to see him back, though. I'm joking. Finn Delaney's been killing it in Europe, though. I'd love to see him back. Same with Yanni. Yanni would be so good, man. Yanni was so good when he was here. It's a real
Sam
shame.
come back?
Menenga?
Yeah.
He is back for next year, I'm pretty sure.
He is?
I think it's confirmed, yeah.
Okay, it's good. Hopefully he has a good year in Puerto Rico.
Is that where he is now?
He's in Puerto Rico, yeah.
Hell yeah. Good on him.
Be interesting.
We'll keep you up to date with all the free agent signings, of course. Yep. I'm hoping the Breakers make some moves soon. I'd love to see some Kiwis signed. I'd love it, man. I want to see what it was like in the early 2000s where it was Kiwi core. Kiwi core. Damn. I'd love to see Mo King back, by the way.
Ooh, yeah.
If he stays healthy, I'd love to see him back.
Maybe in a starting role as well. I think he's got potential there.
Yeah, I just want to see him healthy. So
Speaking
injury
of
prone.
another player, I know I just spoke about him potentially having a good role on the Perth Wildcats. I don't know what his contract situation looks like, but Dante Rousseau-Nance.
Really?
Another option.
You'd like to see him in a Breakers jersey?
Bro, he's a Kiwi.
Yeah.
I want Kiwis on the New Zealand Breakers.
Tell me
And he's got potential, so I'd like to see him in a Breakers jersey.
You reckon Rob Lowe somehow just was like, let me come back?
Who knows, bro?
Rob Lowe got out of his contract by retiring and then signed with Melbourne on an injury replacement and then ended up playing for 2 seasons.
We need all these Kiwis who are coming back for the NZNBL to really just love their time back here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Flynn Cameron, I hope you're having a
Flynn
phenomenal
Cameron,
time
please.
down there.
I
in
love
Pukekohe.
Flynn Cameron, bro. He's got so much potential.
Franklin Bulls, please just do a wonder on him and show him everything to do in the great Pukekohe.
Yeah.
And hopefully that makes him stick around in Auckland, play for the Breakers.
Would love to. Hey, we'll keep you up to date with everything NBL free agency, of course, throughout the off season. I'm sure there's going to be some big moves, big signings. I'm really looking forward to it. But we'll round off the episode by just doing a quick wrap on the NBA. Man, shout out Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
Shout out Josh Giddey.
That has to be the most insane ending to an NBA basketball game I've ever seen. I'm calling it now.
Tracy McGrady, 13 points in.
That wasn't the end of a game.
Yes, it
End
was.
of a what?
T-Mac.
Was that at
against
the
the
end of the game?
Spurs?
True, it was.
Come on, bro. I mean, you didn't watch it though. I don't even think we were alive.
No,
We might
I
have
thought that
been.
was just like at the end of a quarter or something.
Brother, he won the game. He scored 13 points in less than a minute.
No, I'm still calling this the greatest.
It was insane.
If
Well,
you watch it,
Kobe White got the steal, hits the 3, goes
no, it
up
wasn't
by
even
1.
that wasn't even the start of it. They were down 5, inbound it. I think it was like Javonte Green or something. Hit the corner 3. LeBron inbounds it. Josh Giddey gets the steal. Out to Kobe White.
3-pointer.
Boom, 3.
And then AR goes
Reeves.
down, and then
my
Giddey hits
God.
the half court, and
Insane.
Giddey has just been on an absolute heater. I mean, this trade for Caruso for Giddey has ended up working in both teams' favors. I mean, Caruso's been a decent role player on the Thunder. I mean, he wasn't going to have a big role. The team was so stacked.
Still an L for the Thunder.
But Giddey wouldn't have thrived like this if he stayed on the Thunder.
Yeah,
There's absolutely no way. But for him to go to the Bulls on a pretty average looking team,
Player.
I think he's going to make I think he's a free agent next year. He's on his rookie contract. He's going to make a bag next year.
For sure.
He's putting up crazy numbers since the All-Star break. And
Him
he's
and Kobe
shooting.
White.
He's shooting a career best from 3 too.
And he had that game the other day or the other week. Near
Quadruple
double,
double.
8 steals. He's taking a page out of his fellow Aussies book, Dyson Daniels, as an elite steal grabber. I don't know if it's pure defense. I've been having this debate with some people over Depoy. My Depoy is Dyson Daniels personally. Someone was telling me the other day, he just gets steals. He's not actually like a top elite defender. I personally disagree. I think you watch him play, he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. He just knows where to place himself. I think steals is definitely a big part of defense.
Yeah,
in
of
my
course
opinion.
it is.
So,
Same with blocks.
yeah.
Same with blocks. I mean, like, Cat's not a great defender, but he gets blocks.
And offensive fouls drawn and charges drawn is also a massive part
I
of
saw a
defense.
stat that he has more charges drawn than, like, most NBA teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the list. Guess who's at the bottom in terms of teams?
Like the Wizards
The
or
Clippers.
Jazz. The Clippers.
We've drawn like
Shame.
5 charges this year. Crazy.
Tumani
yeah.
has like 40.
I think it was 6. It was might have been the 40s.
He has the most defensive stops out of any player in the NBA.
You did say that. He's gonna be good in a few
Defensive stops is offensive fouls drawn, charges drawn, steals, or blocks recovered, and he leads the NBA
league.
in that. He has more than 80 Evan Mobleys.
Damn.
Dare I just put that out there?
Is Mobley gonna win it? Depoy? He probably will.
Mobley? I don't know, bro.
Like if Wemby had it
Draymond's
locked.
a favorite now.
Draymond's
a favorite after he went on that bloody tangent about how he thinks you should win it.
I haven't watched Warriors basketball really this year.
He should not be it.
Yeah.
For sure. I think it's Dyson or Mobley.
I hope
Tamani,
so.
Tamani would be top 3 for me.
Yeah.
Blazers
Of course it
bias,
would be.
call it that, whatever. He's
course it
definitely
would
all defensive first team.
You reckon?
Can I at least get that out of you, Finn?
We'll talk about it next episode. When there's 9 games left until the playoffs as well, by the way, team. And the West is really close. I mean, the Clippers, I was a little bit nervous, but we snuck back into the 6th seed, which I predicted would happen. We snuck back into the 6th seed.
Season ain't over yet.
We're 2 games behind the Grizzlies and the Lakers, so we have a chance at maybe moving even higher with 9 games left. We're fully healthy, and Kawhi is probably in the best form in recent years, I reckon. He's been on an absolute heater. Norm has been a bit average coming back from injury, but Harden and Zubac have been outstanding. Zubac has 50 double-doubles this year.
Bogdanovic as well.
It's been alright. Yeah, he has hot
definitely
games.
Definitely a good win trade for you, not for the Hawks.
You know what was a crazy thing that I didn't see I didn't think was going to be a good pickup for us? Ben Simmons has actually been okay. Buzzy as
guy. He should just
super
be
buzzy.
kicked out of the league.
Alrighty.
Go join the NBL, mate. Honestly, your time's done.
Yeah. But we're looking pretty good, and I think we're going to miss that play-in tournament, I think.
Yep.
We're on a really good stretch of games right now.
I think you are.
What's going on with the Blazers?
Don't want to talk about it.
Alright, we don't have
No,
to.
it's alright. Yeah, our odds are looking more and more unlikely as the days go by at making the play-in. We still have a chance. It'll be tough, but we do have a streak of games against the Hornets, the Jazz, the Raptors, the Bulls, I think. I think that's a very winnable streak for us.
Yeah.
So possibly with losses to the Mavs and the Kings and the Suns, those are the 3 teams we're chasing right now. There's an outside shot at a 9 or 10 seed still, but we did lose to the Kings the other day. Yeah, at this point, I'm not too bothered because what I've seen is we're going to be above 500 team next season for sure. We've looked phenomenal. Kong's looked like definitely our big man of the future, absolute beast. Tamani, like I said before, he should be all NBA defensive first team, hands down. One of the best on-ball defenders in the league, in my opinion. And then Denny Avdia, he's looked like one of the best players in the NBA for the last month. Bro's absolutely crazy.
That's a hot take.
He's averaged 25, 10, and 7 over the last month.
Okay, that's not.
He's looked phenomenal. I don't know where this has come from. That's not me saying he is a top 10 player.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, he's for sure a top 50 player, hands down. So that's it for the Blazers.
We'll end on this. Something I did not expect happening. The Grizzlies fired Taylor Jenkins. 9 games left in the season, they fire their head coach, and they are the 5th seed.
Stupid.
What are they thinking?
Idiots, bro. Even if he is a bad coach and
He's
they
a
don't
good.
like him.
I thought he was a good coach.
Yeah, I thought he's a good coach as well. But even if he was a bad coach and
just keep him for
you're
the rest
9
of the year.
games out. This is just gonna destroy team chemistry.
Yeah, I
Bringing
know.
in a new guy now,
Well, they'll get one of their assistants to just step up.
they're gone in the first round. I'm calling it now. Whoever they face, even if they got back up to the 2 seed, which is a possibility for them, they're losing in the first round to anyone.
Telling you now, the Clippers would smoke them in a playoff series.
100%. I'll agree with you.
I think it'd be 6 games. Would be done. It'd be easy.
I'd say 5.
Damn. I'm telling you now, if we match up, and this might be a crazy take, the Clippers, if we match up against either the Rockets or the Grizzlies, we're beating them in a 7-game series.
I agree with you for sure. They're
And
both just too young and inexperienced. And you got
We
Kawhi,
just
James
match
Harden.
up perfectly against those teams as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Any other team we match up against, if we match up against the Nuggets, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, you're gone.
If we match up against the Lakers, it's going to be close.
Lakers take that. I'm sorry. LeBron and Luka, they just would
in the
not win
playoffs. We won't be matching up against the 1st or 2nd seed. So that's a bright side because we're going to miss the play-in. So it's going to be either
Are you? It's not guaranteed yet.
I reckon we're going to.
You're tied with the Warriors still. You're the 6th
Yeah, I
seed,
know,
but
but
you have the same record.
Is Curry back?
Yeah, he is.
We might be in trouble, team. We might be in trouble, chat. But no, I'm telling you now, if we match up against the Grizzlies or the Rockets, I think we win.
Yeah.
Just simply because of how good our team is and how good we are right now.
Second round exit.
And we have Kawhi Leonard.
Who cares?
We have Kawhi Leonard. No, okay.
Second round exit and no future. That's what
I think we're gonna upset people in the playoffs. I'm calling it now.
Okay, buddy.
I'm calling it now. That's it for episode 31. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week breaking down everything NBL. Hopefully more Breakers signings in terms of front office. And, of course, we'll stay up to date with the NBL free agency.
Sure.